You walk into the bathroom and you see Robbie's body. There's blood everywhere, blood pooling all over the tiles. It takes you a minute to even, before your eyes train on it and realize it, but you can see that it is there, carved into his chest. It looks like that was how he was actually killed, like it was carved very deep right into his body. Zach just lets out a scream and runs away, and we don't know where Zach goes.
Yeah, I look mournfully and feel lost as their hand slips from my grip, but I don't follow them because the rest of the group is staying, and that's kind of my instinct to stay as well.
Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to go around the table and find out how you would each react. This is probably going to, depending on what you do, it could trigger keep her cool. If you want to run away, it'll trigger run away. Whatever you think your natural reaction would be, I'd love to hear that right now. Shay freaks out and is going to run. So just FYI, Shay is running. That just leaves the four of you. Zach and Shay have screamed and run off. Fall, what would you do?
I'd probably go after Shay.
I'll take that as a runaway. So just hold that thought for a minute. About you, Julia?
I try what I always do when I'm nervous. I brush my hair and it's not there anymore. And that moment when I try to brush my hair and it's not there, then I go down on my knees and pretend that I have to put something on my shoes or something and try that nobody can see my face.
But you're still staying. You're not running out.
I'm still staying, but it's more like a freeze. Yeah,
I like that. We're going to call it keep your cool for now. Hold that thought. And what about you, Addie?
I think likewise she's going to freeze. She sort of just like puts the hand to her face and is just in sheer shock as she looks at Robbie's body on the floor, caught between wanting to run away and just wanting to throw up or have some other kind of physical reaction to it, I guess.
That'll probably keep her cool as well. So it looks like, Adam, you've got a choice to make because two people ran, two people stayed. Three people ran, two people stayed. Are you just playing the numbers here or what?
No, I'm still staying because that's more drama if Zach slips away.
Okay, nice. Those of you who are trying to like stay there, keep her cool, give me a runaway, fall. Yeah, we'll figure out how to resolve the scenes once we have the rolls on the table. But for now, let's just get them on there and see what we got.
7. I would have succeeded too if I didn't have a -1.
You have a -1 on volatile?
Yeah. I mark XP.
I have a 7.
Awesome. What are you afraid of doing, Julia? Like, just think about that. Like, if you don't keep your cool, what are you worried will happen?
I would pee my pants right now.
Okay, sounds good.
It's like I have this urge already since we're in the classroom. Then we went into the dark room together and stayed there doing hairy stuff. And so it's urgent, actually. But yeah, somebody who is sensitive about it could still already smell a certain scent.
What about you, Addie? What'd you get in the roll?
I think that's an 8. Yeah, an 8.
And what are you worried about doing if you don't keep her cool?
I think making a scene. She's very reserved and aloof and in control most of the time. So I think losing that is what she's most afraid of.
Good. And what did you get on your roll, Adam?
It's the first keeping it cool I made. I have an 8.
What are you worried about happening if you don't keep it cool?
I guess I'm worried that I react wrong with the spiral on my arm and all, and that people would think I'm somehow responsible.
Let's go with that one. If you go through with this, I think how it's going to leave you vulnerable. If you don't just like leave right now, I think I'll probably give you a condition or at least push on this idea of you like you're guilty, like you're the one who did it. Like you'll be so calm and so non-reacting to the situation that you might be like pegged as the person who did it. So you can decide whether you want to keep doing that or not.
No, I think I do run away.
Okay.
Or I do give in to my instinct.
Yeah, you can run. I don't need a roll. It's good enough to just make that decision for yourself in that circumstance. I think for both of you, if you both push forward with this, you stay and you examine the scene or investigate it or whatever you do right now, the only two people still there, I think there's a really good chance that you might draw the attention of the killer. I'll let you decide if you want to stay or not.
Julia doesn't want to, but Julia has to draw the attention of the killer. There's something deep inside of her which tells her not to go, to stay there and expose herself to whatever is there, because she's all about power and thinking about power a lot in recent times. She doesn't know exactly why, but there's somebody who is the most powerful thing you can do in the world, take some other being's life. So I have to stay.
What about
Even
you,
though
Addie?
I think so, but I think for Addie, I don't think Addie's aware of someone. Like, I mean, I guess obviously like someone's killed someone.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think what's so
This is a
like-
total. This is an out of character decision, right? Like this is like, yeah.
I'm fine with it. I mean, because I think that for Addie, it's like she has Julia and Robbie, both of whom she had constructed a really petty plan against, and now one of them's dead. So
Right,
I think
yeah.
like she feels some obligation to sort of stay there with Julia and Robbie.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, good. We're going to pick up on the scene in the bathroom in a minute. Adam, you're going to be able to run off to safety. Just decide where you go, and then let me know in a minute.
Yeah, I look for Zach without finding them, and then I guess I just stumble out onto the lawn
Nice. Good.
and look around there. If there's one of the others, if there's the killer sneaking around, things like that.
Okay, that's good. Hold that thought. I'm going to say that you can see what we're about to do, the scene we're about to do, and you can decide how you want to proceed. Okay. Fall. You run after Shay. You lose track of Shay, but you see your mom. She's in the parking lot. She's gotten there. She's arrived, and maybe she got there early. It's a little unclear, but you actually see a big muscular guy wearing like big, like heavy overalls, you know, so like a mechanic's suit. He's there like leaning on the car, and he's like talking to your mom about something as you approach. What do you do?
I'm torn because Shay's gone. Now there's this dude talking to my mom. I think I'm pretty overprotective, so I think I like run up to the vehicle and try to like get my mother's attention.
She sees you as you come up, and I think you're probably looking pretty shocked, right? Like you're probably
Definitely.
Yeah.
Pale,
She
yeah.
pokes her head out the window and she says, "Hon, what's going on? You look like you saw a ghost."
I point back there, and my words like tumble out like word salad, and there's just like dead Robbie, missing kid. Oh no, like Shay ran. It's fairly unintelligible.
Yeah. You come up, she gets out. This guy who's like got like a big heavy cloth and he's wiping his hands. He kind of steps back a little bit, just so your mom can get out. She comes up to you and she's like, "Hun, calm down. Like, and she kind of grabs you and kind of pulls you in, you know. And as that's going on, you're probably nervous. You're probably sweating, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guy who's like, is a mechanic, maybe? It's a little unclear who this guy is. Maybe he's like just, he looks like he was like working on his truck or something, and he came across and saw your mom and said hi. You've never seen him. He steps up to you. He's like maybe in his mid to late 20s, crew cut, like real strong, square jaw, like pretty jacked, pretty muscular, wearing this like kind of a dingy blue mechanic's jumpsuit.
What does the name tag say?
It's actually not there. You see like the little like frayed strings as if it got like peeled off.
Oh, suspicious.
And he comes up to you and he says, "Ma'am, I hope you have a lovely day. I certainly wouldn't want to cause you any more stress than you and your son are currently feeling." And he looks at you, Paul, and says, "I hope whatever has given you such a fright slips away like water off a duck's back." He puts his little cloth in his pocket.
So I get a string on him then.
I guess you do. Yeah, is that what happens? Do you get a string on him?
If you say that they're aroused by my Musk, then I get a string.
Oh, yeah, you get it.
Yeah, I'm going to say one string on mysterious guy.
As he leaves, he says, "I hope the two of you have a very pleasant afternoon." And he turns and walks
And the
on.
whole time I'm sort of like aghast and like going like, okay, like I'm acting like every teenager in a horror film where I'm just like pulling at my mother and being like, "Mom, come on."
Adam, you saw all that. What do you do?
Yeah, as I see them talk, I try to figure out if the guy is familiar. My finger is tracing the spiral on my arm as I try to go deep into my memories.
Yeah, I love it. Gaze into the abyss.
Indeed. Yeah, that's not going too well for me. It's a 4.
Rough experience. Hold that thought. Back in the bathroom, I want to just like hear your inner dialogue right now. What are you each thinking as you look at Robbie's body? We've already gotten yours a little bit, Julia. If you want to expand on it, go for it. But I'm really curious about Addie. Like, what are you thinking right now as you see this?
Like, you know, when you sort of miss a step on a set of stairs and then your gut kind of like drops out from you, it's like she's just been spinning this brilliant plan at first. It was going so well. And then she's just had all of that drop out of her as it's gone, that is so petty now compared to the circumstances. And so I think she's snapped out of like Snake Adeline and back into the kind of like dorky Adeline we saw a bit before. And she's feeling very insecure and vulnerable and panicked. And all of her self-control from before is just sort of fallen away with that feeling.
Julia, pick up on that. You see Addie like having this reaction. What do you do?
I understand her. I have to think about all the moments which were special for me and Robbie. When I see him there on the floor, it's like I remember when he was wearing his sweatshirt for sport and it was totally wet because it was raining suddenly. It was very tight to his body. And I remember the moment I saw him together with Adeline for the first time, realizing that they have something, do something. And I was confused. I didn't understand that moment. And it took me a long time to think about it, like who's under control there? It's him or her. I decided it was her. These kind of little moments come through my mind when I see my dead classmate there on the ground. It feels like as if the old end of my life was just jumping 10 years closer. I don't like that thought.
And I think with that, like Adeline is saying in quite a shrill tone, like it wasn't supposed to be like this. It wasn't supposed to be like this.
No, it wasn't.
I'm curious, like, how you're feeling about the fact that Robbie was your boyfriend and dumped you because you weren't cool enough for him. Is there even just a small part of your lizard snake brain that is like happy about this?
Definitely. Like there is such a cognitive dissonance right now between her being really happy about this, but then at the same time feeling a little bit guilty on the fringe, if that makes sense. It's very complicated.
No, it's a perfect reaction, I think. Let's just have the scene then. Let's just keep going. We'll figure out what you guys get up to in this scene. Bear in mind, like walking around or doing anything, even just a little bit, is going to get you covered in blood, right? There's like your shoes are already going to be covered in blood, right? So, but role play.
I think Adeline looks to Julia and is just like, what do we do?
Let's take a moment before we move on from here. Doesn't seem that he got any kind of respect when he died. If he wasn't worth nothing, and very openly, so you can see that I take one of my capsules. I have this collection of scents. It's a matter of respect showing to Robbie when I take a portion of his blood as a memory and continue carrying it with me, isn't it?
Adeline nods and says, yeah, we should respect this. But then in the back of her head, there's a voice that's like, he doesn't deserve respect. What are you talking about? Like, he's not worthy of your respect.
There are different degrees of respect. I wouldn't say that I have the same degree of respect for him than for you, for example. But it was above zero still.
I don't know what to say. Maybe we should discuss this after you've done your thing. I'll see if anyone's coming while you do this, if you need a moment.
Yeah. Sooner or later, we should start screaming. That's what they expect from us. Overall, we are still girls. Huh?
Hold that thought. That's a good cut. I'm going to go to Adam. You are tracing that spiral. And I think like as you run your finger along it, maybe you repeat it a few times, right? You put yourself almost in a trance of sorts. It's a warm day. And have you ever been like outside, like in a park on a really warm day, and there's no one around, or maybe they're in the distance. And so all you can hear is just like the chirping of birds and the sound of wind blowing through the grass. And in the distance, maybe like kids or people or voices, right? You're feeling like super focused and centered and like really present in this small, close moment, right? And I think for a minute, you even like kind of forget what you're doing. And then you look up and you see this mechanic in his blue overalls standing right there. You didn't even sense him approaching. He's just there. And he kind of like looks at you. He looks at that spiral on your arm. And he says, I can tell just by the look of you, young man, that you have an emptiness, a void inside of you. Have I correctly deduced it?
That's a fucked up thing to say.
He says, then I have it right. And I'm taking a string on him, or a string on you for him.
Sure.
And he steps in a little closer and he puts his hand, rough, strong, big hand. He kind of like cups your neck a little bit from the back and kind of rubs his thumb up against your like lower jawbone. And he says, I'd like to help you fill that void.
I'm
spending a string.
Situation.
I'm spending a string right now for you to go into the woods and fuck this guy. You get an XP for doing it.
And I can't just refuse, right?
You can refuse. Yeah, you don't get the XP, but you can refuse.
Yeah, I don't think I want to fuck this guy.
How do you get out of the situation? What do you do?
I'm not what you are thinking, mister. And
he never breaks his gaze from you. He's just staring at you intently, his jaw set.
Yeah, I guess I'd just punch him in the face.
In an effort to hurt him or an effort to run away?
No, effort to hurt him.
An effort to hurt him. Okay, lash out physically. Yeah.
Is Adam mad at like the insinuation that he might be gay? Is that why he's so angry, or?
Yes, and yeah, he's mad about that insinuation. Yes, and also about the guy correctly deducting he has a void inside of him. So it's like, yeah, that's not. He doesn't want any of those things to be true, and he doesn't want to fuck some grimy mechanic guy in the woods. That's one. No, that's a 6. No roll works.
Yeah, does he have a condition? Like, has someone else burned this mechanic saying he was grimy and you accidentally hit on it?
There's no condition in play here. I think you're going to go 4.
Spend strings to get +1, right?
He doesn't have any strings on him.
Mm-hmm. I'm not acting on one of my conditions. I'm not unnoticed, I guess, and this is not strictly drug fiend behavior, even if I'm sure there are drug fiends who punch people in the face.
I mean, it's if you take advantage of someone else's condition, right? I don't know if
I can take advantage on one of my conditions, and then get +1 and erase it because it's one of my moves.
Right. Yes, right. I mean, unnoticed is probably too late for unnoticed, but if you want to make a case for drug fiend, yeah, maybe. Like, do you want to? How about your fiction? Like, how about that go here? I guess
I will punch him in the face,
and
then I will punch him some more, and then I will do easier to forget.
Nice. I like that. That puts you to 7. You'll harm him. That's fine. We'll know tell people 1 harm. But then you have to choose 1.
Yeah, sure. He learned something about me.
Indeed.
That's a learning experience for him.
Punch him a couple times.
Yeah.
I think he just takes the blow, right? Like he just, like kind of like Jason Voorhees, like, right, where he just like, whips his head around and then goes right back, right? And then goes right back. And he says, yes, that's good. Do you feel it? Do you feel the anger replacing the emptiness in the shell you call your heart? A couple more times.
Does he go down or is he still standing?
No, he's still standing. And like he seems unfazed completely. And he just kind of like goes, I have other business to attend to. And then he just acts like he didn't even see you at all. Like you're not even there. And you just maybe stumble back. Fall, your mom gets you in the car and she's like, "Hun, what is going on? It's not like you to act like this. Just calm down. Tell me what's going on."
No, Mom, we gotta go in the school. We can't just sit out here. We have to go.
Hun, what's in there? What are we gonna see? Is this Coach DeVry? Do I need to go talk to Coach DeVry? Did he finally come back?
I take like a really labored, long breath, and then I say, "We found Robbie in the bathroom, and he's dead. And DeVry isn't here. Shay ran away, and like a whole bunch of kids are missing, and yeah, I don't know.
Dead? What do you mean dead?
I mean, he's like dead. I mean, we went in there and it was all bloody everywhere. And then maybe I even like lift up my shoe and it's probably got like blood on it or something, right?
Yeah. We'll cut there. Let's take a quick break. Addie, you are keeping lookout for Julia, for whatever weird thing Julia is doing. And you hear Fall and Fall's mom coming. They've just walked in through the glass doors down the hallway, and you hear her saying, "I don't know what's going on, but we got to call Sheriff Nichols. We got to call Sheriff Nichols. We got to figure this out. We got to find a phone." Addie, what do you do? They're coming that way, and presumably we don't want Julia to be seen doing whatever she's doing, right?
Addie tosses a look over her shoulder at Julia, and it's like, "Julia, hurry the fuck up! Like, people are coming."
Well, Julia, what are you doing again? Remind us.
I have tissues and I have capsules and I collect them. And this is an opportunity and also to show respect to somebody who just deceased. So I do what I have to do. It's like there's nothing to worry about. I'm nearly finished anyway. So I'm just scratching a little bit from my tissue, going over his corpse, like where his wounds are. And then I get something out. I would also like to get at least one hair because it usually means there's a lot of scent in there. Just the blood, and then I'm nearly done.
Once Addie gives you the alarm call, give me a keep your cool. What are you scared will happen if someone discovers you right now?
They will send me to something much worse than detention. Or at the very worst, what could happen is they take away my collection because there's other weird stuff in there.
I like that. Go ahead and roll cold.
That's a phenomenal 10.
Nice. You keep your cool. You'll get it all done in time. No big deal. And you gain an insight. You can ask me a question about the situation and take +1 forward when you act on it. Anything you want.
Anything I want. I'm an expert on scents. What was Robbie feeling before he died?
What a good question. Robbie was feeling sexual ecstasy when he died. The most intense orgasm of his young 17-year-old life.
Okay, that's good.
So meanwhile, Addie, Fall's mom is coming in and like she's a ranger, right? She's dressed in like big work boots, and her jeans are tucked into her boots, and she's still got her purse, like around her shoulder, right? As she's like dragging Fall through the hallway, right? And she's like, "Well, this is crazy. What is good?" And she sees the blood on the ground outside the bathroom door, and she just lets out this like piercing scream, right? That just like throughout the hall. Fall, what are you doing right now? Yeah, exactly. Something like that, yes. Fall, what are you doing?
I think I just grab my mother's arm and I just ask her what I should do. So I don't think I know what to do.
She's like, she sees the blood, she sees Adeline, she sees you, and she just like grabs you both instinctively, like grabs you both and like pulls you both close to her bosom, right? Like a protective, like motherly thing, right? She's like, "Oh my God, I don't know what's going on right now. This is just so crazy. But listen, okay, you guys listen to me. We gotta Fall. I want you to go into the library and I want you to call Sheriff Nichols. Okay, can you do that? Go call Sheriff Nichols."
I just like silently nod my head and then I go off there to call.
Then she looks at you, Addie, and she says, "Hun, what's your name?"
Oh, Adeline.
Okay. Are you okay? Do you require medical assistance?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Honestly, I'm fine. And she'll cough to look at the bathroom to be like, oh my god, I hope Julie is finished. She's very used to. She's like running an instinct of like keeping weird dark secrets.
Right. Yeah. I think at that point, that's when like Julia will probably like come out, right, and she'll say, "Oh my god." Yeah. Like I think you're freaking out, right? She'll pull you both close and say, "Now, are you all right? Are you gonna be okay? Are either of you injured?"
We just need some time for ourselves, I think.
Then she pulls you both like and she doesn't even want to go in and look. She's seen the blood on the floor, and that's enough for her, right? So Adam, where do you go? You can go anywhere you want. You don't have to stay in school. You can go home. You can do whatever you think is the right thing to do.
No, I don't think I stay home. I think I climb on the roof of the school and lie down there. And as I said, I start sniffing the ether and trying to forget what happened to me.
Yeah, good. You can do that. If you're trying to gaze into the abyss, you can do that. This can be a way you do it. Otherwise, you can just, kind of chill out, maybe fall asleep, whatever you think.
Guess I've fallen into a daze. There isn't much information to be gained.
Yeah. But you have a good view on things, though, right? You're up high.
Yeah.
So that's something.
Yeah, I'm high.
Yeah, indeed. Fall, you call up Sheriff Nichols, right?
Yeah, and I try to sound as like collected as I can, because I bet you even when I'm working at the ranger outpost or whatever, people prank us all the time, so I know how to like not sound like a prank calling kid.
Yeah. You call, you get a sheriff's deputy, and he's like, all right, yeah. He's like listening to you like say like, okay, this is coming, this is whatever. And then eventually Sheriff Nichols does get on the phone, right? I mean, it's just Sheriff Nichols and like one deputy. So he says, Fall, this is Sheriff Nichols. Now tell me what happened there up at the school. What's going on, son?
We're at weekend detention. Coach DeVry left. We heard a scream or shout from the bathroom, and then when we came in, Robbie was just there, and he's dead. There's blood everywhere, and my mom is here, but we don't know what to do, and my mom said I should call you.
And you can hear him do that thing where like he's put his hand over the mouthpiece, and he's like talking to someone else in the room, probably the deputy, and you can still understand what he's saying, but it's muffled, right? And he says, looks like we've got another one up at the high school. And you hear the other guy say, God damn it. He's like, all right, Fall, go to the parking lot, wait for us to arrive, make sure you've got plenty of coverage around you. You can't, make sure no one can walk up on you, make sure you're just keep an eye out, all right? We'll be there in just a minute.
And I think I even say there's a suspicious guy who like dresses like a mechanic in coveralls. I've never seen him at school, and he was just wandering around. Maybe that's your guy.
He says, "No, you don't need to worry about that guy. I'll be there in a minute."
It's suspicious. Okay, I'll go and tell Mom that.
Yeah. Do either Addie or Julia want any more with the mom, or do you want to just move forward here?
Totally ignore her.
Yeah, it sounds good.
So we'll just zip forward to the scene in the parking lot then, where you're all there, like kind of around Fall's mom's car, right? Adam, you can see this. You're probably like staring down at this scene too. You can see them all. You're all just there waiting. Fall's mom is just like, oh gosh, this is just so I just can't believe this. That poor boy. She keeps hugging you, Fall, like something terrible could happen, to you at any minute, right? That kind of thing. And before the sheriff gets there, you see Shay, Fall, kind of on the edge of the parking lot, like he's trying to see what's going on or whatever, like after the shock of it, he kind of came back. What do you do?
I think I like run at him immediately, and I'm like, Shay.
He's like
calling out to him.
Oh my God. He's like, he just kind of like hugs you. He's like, did I see what I thought I saw back there?
Yeah. Robbie's dead and Zach's gone. So we called the police. Thankfully, like Mom was already on the way, and the sheriff said that we all needed to stay in the parking lot.
He's like, Okay, yeah, okay. Oh, wow. Oh, gosh. And he's like, he's clearly like, he's upset. And I think he actually like breaks down a little bit and starts crying, before you walk back to the rest of the group. What do you do?
I just try to console him. I think I just like hug him so that when he's crying, it's like on my shoulder. So it's not even like, he has to feel anxious about doing it in front of me or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then once he's like had a good one, then we can go back.
Yeah. You'll eventually get there or get back. And you'll eventually hear like the sound of the siren. The sheriff's suburban, cop truck will pull up. And he'll chat with your mom for a little bit. And he'll probably ask you guys just some real basic questions about what you saw, that kind of thing. And he kind of says to you all, he'll say, all right, we're going to take care of this. You all did really well today, keeping it together and just keeping each other safe. If you don't feel comfortable going home by yourself, I can arrange for someone to take you back to your homes. Otherwise, you're free to go. All right. And Fall's mom will take all of you back home if you wish. I guess I just want to go around the table and find out. Well, not Adam's up on the roof, but I want to just find out like what everybody will do. I mean, Fall, your mom's taking you back home. You have no choice in that matter. Julia, where will you go? Where will you want to be deposited?
I am missing Adam.
Yeah.
Where is he?
I don't know. Well, I know. Well, we don't. Yeah, out in character, who knows?
Yeah, I want the others to know that I want to know where he is, which is more about my emotional state than I actually think they could tell me where he is. But they should know Adam was supposed to be here as well. I'm afraid, though, that Adeline has an appointment for me with her family. If she doesn't, then I would ask her to have a look for Adam. But family duties could turn out to be more important.
It's an interesting question. Addie, where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
Good question. I had something in mind, but now an interesting alternative proposition has been laid out on the table. I think perhaps she would be expected home with her parents. She's been set up to do a thing, so she is obligated to return home after this. But I think at this point, she's feeling scared and terrified. And there is still a voice in the back of her head saying, like, these people are dead. Like, just leave them. Why are you still here? And it's like, I like to think after a bit, she realizes it's her mother's voice in the back of her head, kind of like directing her a bit. But regardless of where she ends up, I think she just wants to be with Julia right now and to make sure that there's someone there with her because she's feeling quite insecure. So
maybe the two of you could go get a Pharaoh Burger, the restaurant that is attached to your hotel. So
food sounds sensible.
Good. That's where you will be. Fall, you'll be going back home. Adam, you can watch the scene as long as, you can see them bringing the body out. They all leave. At a certain point, you're going to see Sheriff Nichols cross the parking lot. This is well after everyone's gone, even after the EMT is gone. You're going to see Sheriff Nichols as he's kind of wrapping everything up. You're going to see him. He sees that guy in the blue mechanic's jumpsuit standing on the perimeter of the woods. And he walks right up to him. And they're talking about something, but you can't quite make out what it is. What do you do?
I can't quite make out what it is. Guess I need to get closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to hear this. I climb down the roof and approach. It's not like people will notice me anyway.
Yeah, that's good. You haven't noticed. That's a good point. I'm going to lean on that, and I think you're going to hear everything.
Yep. And I erase it for my move.
Yeah.
That's a +1 forward then.
I want to read this move to make sure I'm doing it right.
A blank canvas. When you take an action that embodies one of your conditions, allowing that condition to alter your sense of self, cross it off and add 1 to your roll.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, give me keep your cool just to do this successfully with a +1.
Yeah, see me fail again. Yeah, of course I fail again. That's 4. But it's level up.
Good. You do get pretty close, and you hear a lot of the conversation. It's Sheriff Nichols. He's a pretty young sheriff, probably like in his early 30s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's already got like a little bit of like salt and pepper, on his temples, but he's still fairly young, good looking. Got his big, sheriff hat, and he's talking to this guy in the blue mechanic's jumpsuit who you just had an encounter with. This guy who looks a little bit like he's got this really like hard like look, like this real square jawed like crew cut look, almost like Dolph Lundgren, right? Like a young Dolph Lundgren, right? Like just this like brick guy, right? And this guy in the mechanic's suit, he's like listening to the sheriff, but he's like just staring straight ahead, like past the sheriff. Like he's listening and he's standing there, but he's not like responding, right? And the sheriff is saying, "You can't keep doing this, Eddie."
Hi, listeners. This is Jason. If you are enjoying Mercy Falls 83, please consider supporting the Gauntlet on Patreon. There are a lot of costs associated with producing Pocket Size Play, from editing, hosting fees, music licenses, and more. Your Patreon pledge helps pay for all of that stuff and indeed encourages us to create more Pocket Size Play. As a bonus, if you pledge $2 or more, you also get early access to Pocket Size Play episodes, which is pretty cool. So go to patreon.com/gauntlet and support the show today. Thanks.